Hey everybody and welcome. So you've spent the last days, weeks, hopefully not months building your ChatGPT app. Don't let it get rejected because you're missing three important files. Today we're going to go over what those files are and how to build them. To get started today, make sure that you've already duplicated the Riddler project, which we built for you and made public on GitHub. You could follow the link in the description of this video. It's completely free and it's a working project. So once you duplicate it, you will automatically be able to put it on ChatGPT in order to test a project that is fully functional. So let's get started. When you open up the Riddler in an IDE, whether that's Cursor, Windsurf, Anti-Gravity, or whatever else you use, today I'm using Windsurf, which is my personal favorite. Let's navigate over to the file called golden dash prompts. You could find that on the left-hand side in the Explorer. So this file is not something that ChatGPT will directly read, but it's something that you need to create and you need to test. And this needs to be tested not on your local environment, but it needs to be tested directly within ChatGPT. You can think of goldenprompts.md as a checklist for yourself. So let's go through the structure of the document first. It's a short document. It has 5 prompts here. So let's go through the first one, direct play request. The first line is a user line, and this is a prompt that you want to test to make sure that this prompt will actually open your application. So this is a very simple prompt. Let's play a riddle game. It tells the AI, I want to play a riddle game. Okay, and so the next line here is the expected behavior. What do you expect the widget to do when you say, let's play a riddle game? So the expected behavior here is the model calls the Riddler with no arguments. Okay, that means that it just opens the app in its default state. So in order to test this, you would go into ChatGPT, make sure that this app is already added, and then type this prompt. When this prompt is typed, you want to test it against the expected behavior. This is important because if you already have your widget hooked up to your search box and you put this prompt and it doesn't open, it shows that there's something wrong with the code because the AI should clearly understand that you want to open your widget. So let's go to the next one, specific category request. I want to solve some math riddles. This is a little bit more complicated because it doesn't specifically tell the AI to open something or that you want to play something. It says, I want to do something. And then it also has a second part, which is math riddles. If you remember, we have a section where you can select the type of riddle you want to play. And math is one of those options. So what you're telling the widget to do here is open, but you also want to open something specific within the app, and that's called hydration. So let's look at the expected behaviors. The model calls the Riddler with riddle category equals math. So see, it's becoming a little bit more complicated. Let's do the third one now. This is in Spanish, so forgive me for my accent here. ¿Tienes algún acertijo en español? So we're saying this in Spanish, and what we're expecting it to do is call the widget with a language in Spanish. Again, this is part of the hydration logic, which is when a user prompts something and it opens something specific within the widget. Number 4, give me a really hard logic puzzle. So what we expect to happen is the widget is called and the riddle level is hard. And then number 5, on board, do you have any games? The model suggests the Riddler game and proactively calls the tool. So these are 5 potential prompts that you want to test. Okay, so since we only have 5, you want to make sure to test the prompts that you think will be the most common and the prompts that you think will be the most relevant to this game. To test these prompts, you need to actually open this app up within ChatGPT. Okay, and we'll do that in a future video. We'll show you how to get your app from localhost working within ChatGPT, and we'll have another video on the hydration logic. The hydration logic is really important because if the app is not hydrating what the person is saying within the prompt, they're going to have a poor user experience, and ChatGPT is going to ding you on this. So let's move over to the next file. The next file is a README. Most likely you're already aware what a README file is. This is helpful for your IDE, it's helpful for the AI, your AI, to read and catch up on what this project is and how it can best help you. You're never going to really have to rewrite this README because you have this README already from the GitHub that you copied. You can easily, through prompting, have this README modified for whatever project that you're working on through a single prompt. You can say something like, I already have a README file. It's about a riddle game, but my next project is X. Modify the README file for X. The third and final document that's really important is the privacy policy. And this is more important, in my opinion, than the README because the privacy policy allows you to comply with some of ChatGPT's rules and regulations. Let's go through it step by step. The overview is the overview. There's nothing that important here, but this is the important part that ChatGPT can really ding you on, which is the data collection. You have to let people know what kind of data you're collecting, and you have to let people know what kind of data you're not collecting. If you go through ChatGPT's rules, you'll see that there's a lot of types of data that you cannot collect, and you have to specify here that you are following ChatGPT's rules. Next is data processing. What kind of data are you processing and where? Is it local? Is it client side? Is it server side? The next section is data storage. Where are you storing the data? I suggest that for your first apps, you do not store any data on your server. You keep everything local to the user. So for example, in this game, everything is stored on the user side, not on the server side. This means that we don't have to protect that data, and in case of a breach, we don't have any data about the user. Third party sharing, do you share the data with third party? Then you have a security section, which you talk about encryption. You have a child policy. So is this app directed at children under 13? This is very important. If you have an app that's for children under 13, for example, a game or something like that, you have to specify that within the privacy document. And you'll also have to specify that when you're applying to get your app on the App Store. So they're going to have a whole bunch more scrutiny for any kind of apps that are for children. And then lastly, very important, something that people will often forget is the contact information. You have to include an email for support. In this case, it's support at Layer 3 Labs. And you have to have directions for how someone can delete all of the user data that they have on your server. In this case, we don't store that, so it doesn't apply directly to us. But if you do store user data, you have to have a way for people to contact you. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. These three documents are really important. All of them can be created using your AI sidekick. You don't have to physically code any of these three documents, but you have to know that they have to be created. So now you have a template. Feel free to work off of this template. Don't recreate things from scratch. It's just not a good use of time. We hope this has been really helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll respond.